And the president of Guatemala canceled a meeting today with President Trump. Both countries were expected to sign an agreement that would require Guatemala to process more asylum claims there. And earlier today, the Trump administration announced a new policy that drastically limits the number of migrants who are eligible for asylum in this country. RT's Rachel Blevins is standing by live outside of the White House with all the details. Rachel?
Well, Manila, the Trump administration has announced that it plans to implement a new policy that would place increased restrictions on migrants who are looking to seek asylum here in the United States. Under this new rule, migrants crossing over the southern border are only eligible to apply for asylum in the U.S. if they have first applied for and been denied asylum by another country, which they crossed through on their journey to the U.S. Now, the Trump administration has branded this policy as a way to cut down on the number of migrants seeking asylum here in the United States from Central America. And in a statement, the Department of Homeland Security said, quote, "Today's action will reduce the overwhelming burdens on our domestic system caused by asylum seekers failing to seek urgent protection in the first available country, economic migrants lacking a legitimate fear of persecution, and the transnational criminal organizations, traffickers, and smugglers exploiting our systems for profits." Now, this announcement comes as a meeting was supposed to take place today here in Washington between President Trump and Guatemalan President Jimmy Morales. Now, they were supposed to discuss a safe third country agreement for asylum seekers. And what that agreement would have done is it would have required Guatemala to look at all asylum claims from migrants who come to the country from other countries such as Honduras and El Salvador before they can go on to other countries like Mexico and the United States. Now, Guatemala pulled out of those talks at the last minute after 5 former senior officials appealed to the Guatemalan Constitutional Court, arguing that the country does not have the resources in order to deal with such a drastic change in policy. Now, as of right now, Canada is the only country that has a safe third country agreement with the United States, and many have shared concerns that migrants who are fleeing violence in other countries will not find the same level of safety in Guatemala as they would if they were able to come to the United States. Now, the potential agreement has been sharply criticized by advocates for refugees who argue that, quote, "it would be an egregious violation of law and common decency in which individuals who are forced into Guatemala would constitute an especially vulnerable social group who are subject to grave risk at the hands of gangs and other criminal elements." Now, as of right now, immigration courts in the United States are backlogged with more than 800,000 cases and counting, which means that many of the migrants who are applying for asylum in the United States will have to wait years before their cases are heard. And meantime, ICE raids are still ongoing in major cities across the U.S. And although we only saw several arrests over the weekend, those arrests are supposed to continue today. Manila, back to you.
Hey YouTube, thanks for checking out our channel. We hope you enjoyed the video. We have tons of content for you just like this. For more of RT America's one-of-a-kind news and analysis, be sure to subscribe and never stop questioning more.